Good news for landlords and tenants.
Bad news for the rental scammers.
Ontario is eyeing a reform that would make rental payments affect tenants' credit scores. So this involves an unprecedented change, which would mean that credit bureaus such as Equifax and TransUnion would have access to orders from the Landlord-Tenant Board. So any disputes that come up in the Landlord-Tenant Board would be accessible to Equifax and TransUnion and other credit bureaus.
I believe Trudeau was talking about this in April this year, but finally, Ontario taking it to the next step.
This is part of the latest proposal from the province. And why we say this is good news is that we all know that people that make their mortgage payments on time, they are able to build their credit, right? So for a tenant, it actually makes it more fair. Why can someone with a mortgage build their credit when they're paying their monthly payments on time, but someone who's paying rent can't? This would allow tenants that are good and paying their rent on time to build their credit, and then when it comes time to apply for a mortgage, they will have a great history and be able to get a more favorable rate.
Also, credit cards, loan for the cost.
And why we say this is good for landlords as well, if you've ever been a landlord before, as you know, part of the thorough due diligence process when screening a tenant, one of the main things is looking at their credit history. We look at things such as phone bills and car payments that are made on time. It will help landlords to be able to see that maybe past rent payments were paid on time as well. It's more transparency, and potential landlords will be able to see that on the credit report.
Why is bad for the scammers?
It's bad for the people who commit rent theft. It's going to be very hard to hide missed rent from the past. As it stands right now, if you've missed all your rent and you have a dispute with the Landlord-Tenant Board right now, that's not readily available information to future landlords. It's leaving those future landlords in the dark and at risk.
What do you think? Comment below.